Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. So I messed up the other day. I came down into the bike shop and I was trying to pick up and make some room for stuff, and I grabbed 3 bikes that I wanted to make videos of and I hung them up in the hooks in the back and got everything sorted for the guys to work on for the week. And then I forgot that they were back there and they were customer bikes. And yesterday, customer comes in to grab his bikes and he's like, "Where's my bikes? Are they done?" And they've been hanging up there for a week. So I'm down here on a Sunday morning trying to crank these suckers out and make up for my tomfoolery because I'm ADHD or whatever. And it's the first time in like 9 years that I've done something like this. I feel bad about it. But anyway, took a look at the tag and it's in for a tune-up, and it's a dad bike. It's a Trek 7200. You know how much I love these bikes. 3 broken spokes, which usually means that we've got ourselves a failed wheel, but they're breaking right in the middle of the spokes, and I never see that happen. I have no idea what happened here. Maybe it took a hit. It's always a risky maneuver, I think, to go ahead and replace spokes and try to true the wheel because it just might be bent and beyond repair and need replacement, and sometimes it's easier just to replace it. But in this case, I thought I'd make some good content, so we'll cut some spokes for this and try to get this wheel straight. Other than that, it looks like a pretty straightforward tune-up for a bike that's been sitting somewhere moderately moist for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. The tires are in good shape. They're not all cracked and crummy and they're holding air. So it's gonna be a lot of cleaning, lubing, and adjusting. Tune up plus a little extra labor on this one. You kick back and relax. I'm gonna get started. Yeah, you can see here, these are the spokes, and they almost look cut. The ones around them don't really matter. Are they all from the same side? Yeah, they're all from the drive side. I don't know what happened here. The torque disc is intact, but we'll replace it. Yeah, I guess let's just kind of dive in and see what we've got going here. First step, per the usual. Disconnect the brake, pop this wheel out. Woody Charleston, everybody. Pop this cassette off. Okay, well this is not good. I found, it looks like a chain bushing in the cassette. And I don't know what they used on this thing, but it is really gross. Yeah, that torque disc is dead. Yeah, they must have used some like WD-40 or motor oil or gear oil. Actually greased their chains. Who knows? You never know about people these days. What they'll get themselves into. We're all just doing the best we can with what we've got. Well, maybe not all of us. So this one's all bent up. You know, how does one get to be like that? You gotta wonder. So I'm trying to avoid the step where you have to like take the wheel all apart, but I can tell that these, oh no, they are twisting. There's some corrosion between the nipples and the spokes. And then I don't think the nipples are gonna push past the rim strip. I'm pretty sure there's a plastic rim strip in there. It's a double walled rim. Oh yeah, I got lucky. So we can leave the nips in the rim. This is the Park Tool spoke length gauge. So, I don't know if I can demonstrate this, but these are the broken J-bend ends, and you can see they're different lengths here. I'm gonna be guessing. Can you see on my layup? I'm gonna be guessing on the length. We're gonna make an educated guess. So there's one. It measures to 282. That measures to 298. I'm gonna go on the other one. 285 and 298. 285. 298. I guess I gotta figure this out. I gotta get two of them to line up exactly, right? It's 288. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how to explain to you what I just calculated in my silly little brain. 288. Okay. So then I go like that, and I find 288. Oh! Okay, so that's 288. We'll cut the other ones to length. This is just an old, housing cable cutter that I use for spokes now. Works good enough for who it's for. This is my Hosan C700 spoke threading machine. It's a really cool little tool. It's not cheap. If you're gonna be doing a ton of bikes and replacing spokes every so often, it's worth it. Big bike shops will have a actual spoke cutter so you can cut an entire wheel's worth of spokes. It's just super easy. This is just onesies, twosies repair, hobbyist type stuff. Probably a good idea to put some lube. Now, it doesn't actually cut. It rolls the threads. If you can see, about that much. And it doesn't always catch. I think it depends on the cut. Yeah, that one's gonna fight us. And I haven't really found a fail-safe way to remedy it. Maybe try deburring it a tad. See if that works. Seemed to do the trick. Maybe I should just deburr them before I put them in, right? Because it worked twice in a row. We have two good data points. Should we just go with it? Just deburr the spokes after every cut. Why isn't that backing up? My right shoulder's hurting already. So 3 is the max I can do. All right. So let's see if I can explain as I go here. 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, okay? Now you'll see you have inbound spokes and outbound spokes. So this hole and this hole are both gonna be outbound spokes, or well, inbound spokes, I guess, they go in. And this one here, you can see is gonna come out this way. So I might as well just demonstrate that since I'm here. Spoke goes like that. Okay, so the outbound spokes are going this way. It's gonna go over, and then under this next one that we're gonna replace. So we can just go right over to here, but that doesn't seem right. Maybe it goes to that one. I think it goes to that one. Yeah, it goes to that one. Oh, I guess you can't really see that. You have to figure out its happy home, but it's going to this nip. So then you find its nip like that, and you can see I just barely have enough to get purchase with my spoke wrench. And hopefully you can catch a thread. There we go. One way or another, catch a thread and then get a little tension on it. All right. And then the inbound spokes are a little trickier. You always have to reach around a little bit, and I'm twisting the head of the spoke so it's gonna seat in there properly. And then, I don't know if you can see, but I'm bending just a little bit to get it to slide through these crossing spokes. You know, otherwise you get it stuck in there and then you're stuck in there. But you just gotta pull it through eventually. Or push. There you go. All right. And so spokes, when they cross, this is a 3-cross pattern. It's gonna go under, under, over. It's either under, under, over, or over, over, under. So it's going under this one, then over this one, and that creates the tension, and it finds its happy home right here with Mama on this nipple. Mama, Mama, like a baby bird. You don't have to be so weird about it, but it's a lot more fun if you are. Now, catching that first thread is pretty important and critical to the process. And I think, yep, we've got her. One more to go. So the spokes themselves are only like, you know, $1 a piece or something. But all this labor adds up. And I usually just charge like 30 or 40 bucks to replace a spoke and touch up the wheel quick. So I guess it is worth it because, you know, this wheel, like a replacement wheel, brand new, being a rear wheel, they're a little more expensive. It's like 120 bucks now, 100 bucks maybe. You can find used ones sometimes, but like, you know, 700C hybrid wheels, at least around here, are pretty common. So the used ones get gobbled up pretty quick with my used bike inventory. Now, if you keep breaking spokes, like if you have a couple of failures, you go for bike ride, keep breaking spokes, that just means your wheels failed and it's time for a new wheel. But in this case, just because it was written up, like I might have just sold them a wheel, I don't know. This was written up to replace these 3 spokes. I'm gonna try to honor it just because I already dropped the ball with this customer once. I don't want to be calling them and being like, hey, it's not gonna be 30 bucks anymore. It's gonna be 130 bucks. That never looks good. Customer service is not my forte, but I want it to be totally clear. When I make a mistake, I like to own it and be totally clear that I'm here to rectify it. But I have to make a mistake, and you don't get to make that call. I get to make that call. I just found out that in golf, the player assesses themselves a penalty. Penalties are not put upon the player. But if you don't assess yourself a penalty and sign your scorecard, then you're disqualified. And such is life. Golf is life. Did you not know that that's my true passion in life? Spoke protector, dork disc. So we got parallel spokes here, crossing spokes here. That tells me I need a 3-prong spoke protector, and it also tells me that it's a 36 spoked wheel. Quick, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Remember doing that in kindergarten? See who could count the fastest? I was usually the fastest. All right, let's shine up that cassette. Oh, I should probably get a little parts washer and make room for it in my shop somewhere. You'd think I would, but I haven't yet. I don't do a whole lot of this. I mean, the last couple of videos I guess I have, but it is nice to clean things when they need it, or when it's been, you know, lubricated improperly. You know, a lot of people think that a bike tune-up means cleaning the drivetrain. A dirty drivetrain doesn't bother me a whole lot as long as it's lubricated. So I don't, usually this is extra. It should be extra, but I got everything taken apart anyway. You can see on this side, the Dawn Power Wash just doesn't seem to be cutting through the filth. Here's one spacer. Now you'll often see me using this Finish Line speed degreaser. This stuff is pretty intense. It really does just blast away grime, but I think it's expensive. It's got the turbo sprayer. It just works really, really good and super easy, and I love it. But Finish Line also has citrus degreasers and other like biodegradable, probably less carcinogenic. They work really good, well too. So I just grabbed this from the other room. I don't use this stuff a whole lot, you know, but you can if you like things clean. You can see it's a little bit better than the Dawn Power Wash. It's still not totally doing it. Get the wire brush out, that certainly helps. Just cleaning this mega range out here because it stands so proud. Of course, the back is always going to be dirty too, but it's way harder to clean in there. And then this tool, you know, you can get kind of back in there, but that's really not the problem. Oh, dropped the brush. That's really not the problem that we have with this one. It was just kind of dirty. Like they'd used the wrong stuff and then the bike sat, so it got all gooey. This is way easier if you have a parts washer. If somebody wants to see parts washer content, go ahead, buy one, send it to me. Make it a smaller one. I'll tuck it in the corner somewhere. Might as well just throw it out there. Okay, so what I will do when I get to this point is blast that grime away with the speed degreaser. I think we can throw that rag away. Then, a little compressed air. That's way more better hay and good enough for who it's for. Get your parts, put her back together. I mean, that's really clean. I like to show every single step of the process. So here we are removing the front wheel. All right, so big surprise that there's a gigantic wobble, and we can find the spokes that we replaced. I'm just dropping a little bit of lube on the nipples, between the nipples and the rim, just because we're gonna be bringing them up to tension, and it'll help things turn. And as I mentioned, this bike has been sitting for a while. It's got a little corrosion happening. It also feels like it's got some bent rim action happening. Well, we'll see if we tighten this one down. Okay, so you can see it's rubbing over on my side. I'm gonna loosen this non-drive spoke. Okay, and then this spoke, maybe you guys can see there's some threads showing. This is one that I just cut and replaced. So I'm guessing it's a little loose. And that's why we need to pull it over this way. So we'll tighten that spoke. And all the spokes were replaced are on the drive side, which is your side. Oh, dropped my wrench. I think that's gonna happen a lot. These nips have some corrosion on them. So this looks like a new spoke. I think I just had it a little tight. So now we make real subtle adjustments. Okay, that's rubbing on my side. This is that new spoke. We're gonna tighten it because it's on your side. I mean, that's really good. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we have rescued this wheel. Okay, behold furniture polish. Somebody asked me, why behold? And it's because it's the cheapest I can find at my grocery store. I actually believe that the Surefine stuff, if you have a Surefine grocery store nearby, is the best. I used to get it at the Hy-Vees in Madison when I had the bike mobile. Dust cap is loose over here. I'd show you, but it's like a whole thing with the camera and getting that set up. This wheel has a tiny bit of play, but I think that's okay. We like to have that. Which brings me to the next comment that happened. And it was an interesting one, but some guy professing that he was a millwright and therefore not to be argued with or presented with counterpoints, like he was in the union or something. Big shot out there. Was like, you know, you talk about the skewer compressing the bearings and resetting the preload in your videos, and you are wrong. The skewer actually stretches. Anyone with millwright sensibilities would know this naturally, but you're just a bike mechanic on YouTube filling, you know, spreading misinformation was what he was suggesting, that I was somehow ill-advised. But what happens is, I think he's right, by the way. I can't really wrap my silly little stupid YouTube creator brain around it, but he was saying that the cam mechanism in the skewer, right, actually stretches, not compresses, but stretches the skewer. So the skewer doesn't compress the bearings together. The skewer itself actually stretches, okay? But I think the nut and the other side of the cam forces the nut and everything against that pressure. So that's stretching and they're going in, and that's what I can't wrap my brain around. Regardless, it's smooshing the whole system together. And the axle, the axle that the skewer goes through is obviously hollow, and they're really not that strong, but it does compress and it moves the cones slightly more towards the cups, right? And the balls of the bearing surface, the ball bearings are in between that. And so when you adjust your hubs, you're adjusting them so the cups are just slightly out from the cones with the bearings in between, and there's a little bit of play. Hear that? Just a tiny bit of play. Most of that's in the hub, some of it's in the truing stand. And then with the cam action on the skewer, it smushes that whole system together and sets the preload just exactly perfect. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now, whether or not I explain it to a millwright standard is another story. I didn't know that my content needed to be cleared through the millwright local union 486 in order to be acceptable. But think it of whoever was like, I'm going to defend the bike farmer here and say bike farmer's right. I don't know, this guy said that it absolutely does not, I can't remember how he worded it. He didn't say that it doesn't reset the preload, but he suggested that it doesn't. And you're wrong. Every bike I've ever worked on, if you adjust the preload this way so it's just exactly perfect and then activate that cam, your hub's too tight and you're going to wear out bearings and cups and cones and wear everything out faster. You want to adjust them slightly loose before putting them back on the bike. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how to say that in millwright words. I don't know how to make that right for a millwright. There's all kinds of rust on the skewer. It's ugly as sin. I'm just gonna knock some of it down. There's no way I'd ever get it perfect. But I'm gonna leave it there just as a reminder to these people that they're filthy, neglectful bicycle parents. And if they don't like it ugly, they should take better care of their shit. I'm not an enabler. I'd rather be an asshole than an enabler. That's the difference between you and me. Truer words have never been spoken. I'd rather be an asshole than an enabler. There's no doubt about it. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. I learned that in recovery, you know? No, everybody's afraid to call out the drunk for what they are. Because a lot of times the drunks don't want to hear the truth. Not me though. That's why I have the YouTube channel, so you guys can tell me the truth. You millwrights out there. The skewer stretches. I still can't wrap my brain around the fact that the skewer stretches, but I think the guy's right about that. Anybody with half a brain would know it, just right off the top of their head. Wouldn't even have to think about it. It's just what they teach you in millwright school. The heck's a millwright? I have no idea. Nobody knows. They're like Freemasons. Put on robes and dance with each other in dark rooms, candles burning. Hug it out a lot. Bro tap. Bunch of bro tappers. Hey bike farmers, just a quick note while there's a lull in the action. If you've made it this far, I assume you liked the video enough to click the like button. If you really like it, let us know in the comments below. And if you're into bicycle content for regular people, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're able to support more directly, click on the super thanks button and send me some taco money. Or better yet, join the channel as a monthly sustaining member. All of these things will help grow the channel organically and give the Bike Farmer YouTube channel a strong future. Thanks again for watching. Now let's get back to the bikes. Okay, let's find out if that bushing came from this chain. Guess not. Okay, now I am going to use the citrus degreaser. You'll rarely see me degrease a chain either, but I don't know what they've got on this, but it's all over everything. I got a really filthy rag here. I'll just kind of grab the chain and try to make it less filth ridden. You know, they have those chain cleaner machine things. They work pretty good, but I just use them so infrequently. I don't even know if I have one laying around here or not. This works pretty good too if you have a stand and can do it. And then this is a slightly cleaner, drier rag. Get a couple stripes off of it. And if that don't look like my underpants, I don't know what does. Played a round of golf yesterday and there was like this brown goo on some of my clubs. And I wasn't sure if it was peanut butter or poop, and I didn't bother to investigate and find out. I just wiped it off and kept playing. These brake pads are absolutely atrocious. And since I kind of messed up, I think I'm just gonna replace them for free. You know, I try to do the right thing, and I really do try to be fair, and it is absolutely 1000% the most insulting, maddening, aggravating part of doing these videos, especially on customer bikes, are the comments where people say that I'm ripping people off. It just bothers the shit out of me. People say that it's too expensive, or you know, I'm cutting corners just to make a profit or whatever. It's like, I really don't think so. Or like with the department store bikes that I just tell people their bikes suck so I can like make money fixing them or selling them, you know, selling them a new one. It's like, that's not who I am. That's not what this is about at all, ever. It's so just, you know, it's not for you to determine that. Anyway, the comments where people are like, you gotta stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. You guys are right. I really do. Oh, I should disconnect all those cables before doing that. Let's do that quick. So, little and little, pull your derailleur out, disconnect that one, disconnect that one, disconnect that one, stretch this one out a little bit, disconnect that one, disconnect that one. The brakes are already disconnected, so you disconnect that one, and you can reach out the front and do all those. And now you have access to those tubes for cleaning. Nice cleanish rag, and wipe the bike down and watch it shine. This ferrule's broken. You can see the cables poking through. Okay, I'm dropping tri-flow in a lot of spots here just to kind of loosen things up and hopefully prevent catastrophic failure here. I don't like taking this stuff apart because it doesn't always go back together easily. But there's the broken ferrule. So this cable is starting to fray. It's smushed here from the anchor, right? I don't really care that the anchor cut a couple strands of the cable. You know, if it's frayed after the crimp, that does not bother me one bit. Okay, but I'm gonna cut just the tip off. We're gonna do our very best to make things worse here. So I'm turning it as I go, so it'd be tightening the cable, or the twisting the cable, making that twist a little tighter. Okay, and then through. All right, go ahead and make your super glue comments about how you can super glue the end and do all that work and not have it come apart. I'm never gonna do that, but go ahead and comment and let me know that that can be done. I'll never do it, but go ahead and tell everybody else, it'll be fine. Could do a video someday, or a series of videos where I just like try out all the stupid suggestions in the comments that are actually probably really good ideas. All right, go through and just tri-flow all the cables. Don't forget to lube your noodles, boys. These barrel adjusters have just a little bit of adjustment on them. I'm gonna leave them. We'll tighten to that. Again, I'm just taking the tri-flow and putting it in all the screw heads and so on and so forth. Screw heads. There's two types of people in this world: screw heads and the doomed. Front shift cable. Back in its happy home. Rear shift cable. Back in its happy home. Rear brake cable. Back in its happy home. So there's a movie in the 80s, can't remember which part of the 80s, mid, maybe early, but it was Bill Murray playing Hunter S. Thompson. The movie's called Where the Buffalo Roam, and it is absolutely hilarious. Love that movie. Highly underrated comedy, and Bill Murray does a terrific job playing Hunter. And that line, "Screwheads and the doomed." It's probably something that Hunter actually said, and they just used it in the movie, you know? But many, many good lines from Bill Murray playing Hunter S. Thompson. Super fun movie. Then again, everybody that I've ever shown that movie to was like, why do you love this movie so much? But in college, it was on steady rotation in one of the houses I lived in. Gotta do these pads too. Let's see, they're all cracked. It ain't what it's all cracked up to be, folks. Detached garage, garden shed. Doesn't seem dusty enough to be a barn. You know, it's gotta be something that didn't get a lot of ventilation, like, oh, dropped some hardware. So it goes convex, concave, regular, nut. Ope. Very pronounced P on that ope. Oh, come on. Okay, this is not going as planned. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, so new pads. have more material on them, and these are a little bit wider profile, so things didn't quite, so we have to loosen the cable a bit. Alright. That was a wild guess that I think is going to work out pretty dang good. I'm going to add a smidge of tension over here. I'm going to take away a little tension over here. That's too much. These brakes have a lot of tension on them. And I'm okay with that. It does not bother me. Squeaky lever. Slicker than snot on a doorknob now. You can rub the tri-flow on this stuff and keep the rust at bay, the corrosion and the discoloration. It'll just kind of soak into the plastic. Really good. Now, if you remember, this chain was absolutely filth-ridden not too long ago. We did some spraying and wiping to it and really got her cleaned up pretty good. Once I get the derailleur in this position, I like to get at it with my pretty clean, medium dirty, somewhat filthy rag. These Sarah derailleurs with the big wheels are really nice. Okay, so, oh, almost lost a finger. Oh, baby. G.I. Joe, real American hero, coming to save the day. Cable's loose from our little excursion into Feruli land. Feruli is the wrong way of saying feral. That's how it's spelt. All right, now it's too tight. So I put it up in the little and click down one. I'm gonna turn this barrel adjuster in. And I'm also gonna turn the one in on the lever, which doesn't have any turns. Hear that? It's still too tight. All right, so we're gonna turn this out. Boop, 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 boop. A couple turns. I'm gonna turn the one out on the shifter too, because it's fun to be able to adjust that while you're riding, if you happen to know more than you should. Okay, so we loosen the cable a little bit now. These Park Tool ratchet wrenches, box ends are great. By the way, ooh, ooh, ah, eh, ooh, ee, ah. Ah, the glory of 7-speed index. It feels just a tiny bit tight. That comes with experience, folks. Ooh, well, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it was just exactly perfect before. We'll put it back. I've found over the years this is the hardest thing to demonstrate. But this is not an indexing front derailleur. The derailleur has some clicks in it, but it's, you know, a steady analog cable pull. So we just have to check to make sure it doesn't overshift that way or overshift that way. So if you're up here, you can get some rubbing, you know, in that click, but it's still in gear. Just click it down. Click it down one more, it doesn't rub. You got rubbing there, but it's still in gear. Click it up one, and it doesn't rub. Use your machines, people. Don't come to the shop and say your bike's making noises when you're just in between gears because you haven't thought it through. Think it through first. Video idea from Trevor, who has flown the coop and left back to North Carolina now. He's like, I thought of a good video idea for you. It's called Fix Your Own Damn Bike. I might figure that one out this week. But I was gonna start writing a script this morning, and then I haven't done a scripted one in a long time, but then I remembered that I forgot these bikes and had to do them. So here I am. Now, if you take a good, long, hard peek up your bike's butt, sometimes you find some rust. And you know what to do about rust. You just cover it up with some Tri-Flow. Now, you know, the thing is, with a human, you don't want to be sniffing this way. But on a bike, you're better off sniffing this way than sniffing this way. You know what I'm saying? I think being... Hey, Ruby. God, you freaked me out.
Oh, I thought you heard me. I was still filming.
God. It's like that creepy girl from The Shining, or those twins. What's up?
15 minutes?
Yes, I can take you to church in 15 minutes, but I was just about to drop a zinger. I think being called a saddle sniffer is the bike shop equivalent of being called a pedo in Congress. No? No laughter.
There's so much to unpack.
There's so much to unpack. It took her a bit, and it took you a bit. But you've got nothing but time, which is proven because you have stuck with this video to the end. That's as much as I could ever ask for. So I presume that you liked it, so let us know. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you got a little extra money and really, really liked it, you can send me a super thanks. That's the heart with the $sign in the middle of it. You can do that every time you watch a video, or become a monthly sustaining member. You can join this channel right here in YouTube. You don't have to go anywhere but here. You don't have to go to Patreon and come back or anything like that. You do it right here. Join the channel as a monthly sustaining member, get a star by your name, and if you ask me a question in the comments or even make a stupid comment, I will be sure to answer you if you have that star by your name. Probably with a stupid answer and another stupid comment back, reply. But for yourself, click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned. It's so weird when somebody's in here and I'm doing these outros.